students. My name is Robert Yendall and I am chairman of John Perkins Construction, and I've worked in the industry, the construction industry, for the past 40 years. So very briefly on my career path, I left straight from school at 16, and you were allowed to do that in those days, and I started as a trainee surveyor estimator at a construction business, and I had day release at college for, I think it was 5 years, and I got to HND in building studies, and that has given me the basis and the confidence and the knowledge which I've been able to build on over the years to have the career that I have had. It is really as straightforward as trying to learn the basics, which at your level is GCSEs, and from that build on it and progress. It's step by step. So GCSE exams are very important because for an employer it's the first way that we can assess the CVs when they arrive for new jobs that we've advertised. So what we need to do or you need to do as students, is try and make your CV stand out, because we'll be looking at lots of CVs. So how can it stand out? One of the key ways it can stand out is if it's got good GCSE, especially English and Maths. That's probably two of the most important ones. But that will then give you a head start maybe against others. It's not the only thing we look for, but it is very important, and it might make your CV stand out. Yes, English and Maths has been key and central to my development throughout the industry over the past 40 years. I left school after doing the equivalent of GCSEs in my days, and started working with a contractor as a trainee surveyor estimator, and I went to day release college to get further exams. But what's at the heart of everything we do is English and Maths, because in the most simple things are trying to work out timesheets, invoices. When you're on site, you're trying to order materials, the right size, the length, concrete, timber, it's a whole range of things. We are using the basis of English and Maths. It doesn't have to be the very complicated English and Maths, but this is what we need to progress and to allow us to communicate sort of with the people, our teams that we're working with. So it really is fundamental, and I've used it. You just use it without thinking really every day that you are working, because it's just at the core of everything really. Okay, I found English and Maths at school okay. I wasn't by any means the best student, and I wasn't the worst. I think I would sit very much in the middle. And I suppose, being honest, they weren't my favourite subjects, but we were always told how important English and Maths are. So I got a reasonable, a sort of average equivalent to GCSE, probably 4 or 5 as it is these days. But then from those, what you learn, you pick up on the specific aspects within our industry of how you would use what you've learned for GCSE. So it's just a natural progression, and it's like most things, you learn something, you understand it well, you can add to it and learn a bit more and a bit more and a bit more. So it's not something everything at the beginning. Try and learn the basics, the good grounding. That's what the GCSEs will give you, and then from that you progress and you take it and you add to it and you add to it. So outside of work, you still use English and Maths every day in your everyday life. You need to do your online banking, your bills, the letters or emails that you receive. So you need to obviously understand what's being said and reply, and it's around clear, concise communication. It's not about using all these fancy long words or complicated formulas if it's maths. It's, life isn't really about that. It's more about the basics and then add into the basics as you get more experienced. Okay, I think the best advice I can give to all students, and you'll all have different strengths and different abilities, but is to do your absolute best. No one can ask more than that, but if you do your absolute best, that's what you can do, and it will be worth it in the long run, because where I started at the beginning, good GCSEs on a CV attracts an employer, so you're more likely to be taken on.